Welcome to the Community Spotlight podcast with my guest today, Neeta Shuff. She's from Morrow County and she's representing AgCredit. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dave.
First time on here, you have to put up with me today.
That's okay.
That's all right, but you have to put up with a lot of things in life, don't you?
I do. We all do.
Yeah, we all do. Well, I guess you got the unlucky draw of me. But thanks for coming on and being on the program. AgCredit, for those that do not know it, how would you define to the average guy out here, what is AgCredit? It sounds to me this has to do with agriculture and providing credit to people.
That would be correct. So I would say AgCredit, the best way to describe would be an agricultural cooperative. We work with members to help them with all different types of lending, from farm equipment to operating lines of credits for your average farmer. We also do residential real estate. And can I back that up? When I say residential real estate for our farmers, we do a lot of loans for agricultural land. If they're looking to purchase some new land that they're going to farm, AgCredit offers different types of loans for that. Then we also work with members who are not necessarily farmers, but are looking for rural home loans. So we do.
Now, so what I was going to say on this here, your organization, then, this is actually a cooperative, correct?
Correct.
And I believe from what I've read from your website and our conversation prior to doing this podcast, is you have around 7,000 some members and cover around 18 counties here in Northwest and North Central Ohio, correct?
Correct.
Now, as it applies to you and the ones that I'm aware of, you have offices in, I believe, Marion, Upper, Sandusky, Bucyrus, obviously. Yes, and then Morrow County.
Correct. Those are the closest ones to us here.
Yes. So those cover 4 counties right there.
Correct.
All right. Now, what would this entail? Like I know, like you said, agricultural loans, agricultural leasing, agricultural crop insurance. These are the type of the issues that you deal with, correct? With
Correct.
clientele.
Yes.
What would be kind of like your average client that comes to you, or how do you get your clients, and how do the people find you to even go down this road?
Honestly, I will say our average client is your standard farmers here in all those counties that we serve. I will say that I feel AgCredit has a loyal following. We have worked with our farmers for many, many years. I feel that we do provide products for them, good service to them, so they keep coming back.
Okay.
So I feel we're very fortunate in that aspect of it. But normally they're coming to us. We get to know them. We get involved with their operation. We kind of need to understand their needs to be able to help them. So we work with them on getting their crops in the field, getting their chemicals, their sprays so that they can get their crop off the ground. We help them with financing different pieces of equipment they would need to make their operation successful. We also deal with members who aren't necessarily farmers, but are looking to build homes in rural areas. So we help with home loans in that aspect, home equity loans, construction of barn loans.
Things all of that nature.
Correct.
A couple of things I thought of when I was doing this is, you do things like even with like crop production and various things, and I got to thinking how each season, like there's a different season that we all go through. Mm-hmm. And in the farm community, it's the same thing. You got the time when you sow, you got the time when you reap, you got the so-called downtime, which is never downtime because you always have to work on equipment.
Correct.
And things of that nature. But I would imagine if you're in your field there, that you kind of having knowledge of farms in the farm community, then you know your customer in that sense and say, well, we've got planting season coming up. Have we considered this? Have we considered that? So you can be a helpful hand to the consumer or to the farmer in this case.
That is our job, to kind of help guide them through their process.
Okay, and so that would take knowledge, like I said, of what I call the farm cycle, because you have a calendar cycle kind of what goes on.
We do.
And other things that maybe we should talk about with AgCredit. I know this country, the company, the original parts of this that became AgCredit goes back to the early 1900s, like 1916 or so, I believe. So you have a pretty good background of experience over the years of dealing with the agricultural community.
We do.
All right. Anything else you want to share with us today?
I'm going to say some of the things that we at AgCredit do that aren't necessarily focused on as much, because like you said, we are an agricultural lender, Most people know that. So some of the consumer basic needs that we can provide to them as well.
All right, let's hear about those.
So I kind of touched on the residential real estate. So rural home loans, things like that. Don't necessarily need to be a farmer, but want to build in a rural area. We can help you with those needs. Our farmers, we do car loans for them. So it doesn't necessarily just need to be a piece of equipment. If they're purchasing a car, those are loans that we can handle as well that aren't necessarily driven because of the agricultural part of it.
Okay, see, now I would have not guessed that.
Correct.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So it's a little wider than just agriculture.
You got it. We can pretty much provide any type of need for most of our farmers.
Well, there's, again, knowledge is king, and if we don't ask the questions, we don't get the answers. So what I would say in your case is if, let's say I'm out here and I say, boy, this sounds very interesting to me. I've never even considered AgCredit. How would I get a hold of you or people, from your offices? I know, first of all, you have a nice, I guess I should go to this because almost everybody goes to a website today, and I believe yours is agcredit.net.
Correct, and it's .net, not .com.
Okay, it's agcredit.net. And having went on that site, it does list your locations. It lists all the phone numbers. Those things are all listed on there. So most people will do that. You guys also have a presence on Facebook and other social media, correct?
That is correct.
And basically, I take it if I put AgCredit and went to Facebook, I'm going to find out about AgCredit.
It should pop right up for you.
All right.
One of the other things on our website, too, there are opportunities for you to reach out on that website directly to a branch that's local to you or for general information. You submit some information or some questions, someone will respond to that pretty quickly.
Well, I'll tell you, this is very important because I learned some things today that I did not know about AgCredit, and I thought it was just pretty much, yes, it is. Probably the bulk goes to the farming community, but there are some other opportunities that maybe some of us out here didn't realize that we could avail ourselves of some of these same opportunities through your organization, and we had never really considered you before. And obviously, you'd like people like myself to consider you.
Oh, absolutely. Getting the word out is key.
Yes. Well, in the brief time we've got left, Neeta, anything else you think we need to share today, or did we pretty well cover it?
I think we've covered most of it. One thing I just want to put a little plug in, AgCredit has become very involved with barn dominium loans too. So those seem to be very popular in our world today, people building what they call a barn dominium for shop and or living quarters. So we have a very good product that we do offer to our members to help get that construction done for you.
All right. I'll make sure, I'm a little older guy here. Sometimes my hearing is good. Did you say a barn dominium?
Correct.
Boy, did I pronounce that
You
correctly?
did. You did.
A barn?
Barn dominium.
Barn dominium. Okay. So basically, you can be a residential, but it's also barn as well. So
You got it.
It's a dual purpose type of
It is.
place. That's very fascinating. I did not, this is the first I'd ever heard that term. So I learned something new today. Neeta, thanks for coming in from AgCredit this morning and representing your firm. And again, if you have questions, I would say probably the best thing, because we could go through all these phone numbers, but most people aren't going to remember them. You can go on agcredit.net, or you can go on Facebook and check up AgCredit. It'll show your local offices and the ones closest to you. Mm-hmm. And I know for you, if it's somebody that wanted to talk, well, I heard that woman on here. I want to go with her. She's out of the Morrow County office.
That is correct.
All right,
Morrow and Marion.
Morrow and Marion. So I appreciate you, Neeta, for coming over and doing the podcast with us today, the Community Spotlight podcast, and representing AgCredit.
And we appreciate the opportunity to be able to be on the podcast today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.